welcome to today's training session webinar on PrestoStats tennis. Glad you're here joining us today. Today we're going to walk you through the tennis platform A to Z, show you exactly what the platform can do. So we're going to give you quite a bit of information today as far as how stat entry works, reports, how rosters and lineups work. This is within our PrestoStats 2.0 system, so there are a few changes that you'll notice, but overall, fairly easy workflow, and it should be pretty simple if you've have any experience doing tennis stats in the past. So, with that, I'm going to introduce Zaid, who is going to take over and walk you through the tennis platform. Zaid?
All right, so we'll log into the backend system here. We'll take a look at the season that we have set up. We've got a couple of teams in there already, and we have some rosters that exist. We'll show you some ways you can manipulate those rosters. Then we'll launch an event in the stats platform. You'll notice a different design from our legacy baseball and lacrosse, first two parts of our series. And we'll go in with entering match records, finalizing the event, and taking a look at some reports from there. And we'll go right into your Q&A. So this is our backend administration system. You would go to PrestoSports.com if you're not a website user. If you're a website user, you would go to your website domain, and from there you would have been granted access to a tennis team and to stat a tennis match. This is the main page here. You'll see that it takes you to the current date, and it also has a list of the available seasons that you have along with the events within that season. You can also navigate directly to that season from this sidebar as well. I will just click into the header here to get into the main season. This is the schedule view. You'll have a season overview as well. Gives you the previous and upcoming events. Stats tab here. That's where you will pull all your stats reports. And then here's your roster tab. This will essentially list all of the players that are on a given team's roster that you have access to. If you would like, you do have the ability to add an individual player, or you can import multiple players via CSV file. So that being said, we will go into an event here and launch the stats platform. What I have here is actually an in-progress event. For our purposes, I'm going to launch this one and give you guys, instead of entering every single match record, I've got a couple already there. If you notice the orange background, this will denote that the event's already in progress. If you were to go to a different event here, under the schedule tab, the not started events will have your typical white background. So here I will launch the platform. Okay, and as you can see here, I've already got a couple of matches entered. Now, one thing it's probably important to note early on here is once you have your event settings set up, and these have already been set up to follow your standard dual format, but once the event settings have already been set up, and you have started entering matches, you can no longer go back and edit those settings. But if you needed to, you are free to edit any of the following. Let's launch a new event for this. You can control the number of matches for singles and doubles, the game type, whether they're playing best of three or a single set, the number of games per set, and the set tiebreak points. Now, this is in case of a set that goes into a tiebreaker. Are they playing up to 7 or are they playing 10? 13 is also another option as well. This differs from your clinch to win or super tiebreak format, where which I will get into further, where you can essentially define a point value or decide whether to play extra sets at any given point in a match. court type, scoring mode, standard scoring for dual format here, best of series for doubles, and 1 point per match for singles, but you can change this if needed. If you ever needed to use this platform for just a single tennis match, you are free to simply enter one match in singles, zero matches for doubles, and the system will only require that you enter a single match to finalize. Within this platform, I'm back at back to the in progress event. You'll notice that the rosters are already set up here. They've come in from the event or from the back end system in game day. What we have here is a full list, and everybody by default is going to be a starter and be selected for singles or doubles. This kind of differs from our other legacy platforms where you have to manually select everybody. In this case, we took the opposite route, and you are free to just uncheck somebody if you do not want their name to show up as a selection for one of these match formats. Given a player is already selected for a specific match, we obviously wouldn't allow you to remove them as a participant from that match format, and that's denoted here by this this icon of a tennis racket and the ball. Team details view will pull in the logo that we have from game day as well. The background color is also stored on the team. Abbreviated name, overall record, conference record, and rank are text values that you are free to enter should you desire. These values will be included in the game file that is generated as matches are entered. But we also have our game day API takes these statistics and also does render individual player stats and team stats that we can utilize and present across our websites. Okay, so I will also begin going into entering matches here. As you can see, we've got a match already in progress, a 2-0 score with only 2 singles matches having been played. Team Demo away has won both of those matches. At any point in an event, given you have matches already created, you are free to go in and edit the matches, or we also give the ability to delete a match as well. The system will prompt you or require that you enter a specific number of matches based on the number of matches that you selected in the event settings. So if for some reason you don't have that number of matches, or maybe a player got injured, so you have to cancel one of the matches, you can simply create that match, and through the event statuses, which I will show here, you can basically say, okay, this event was not played, or this match was not played. But I think this is a good point to start entering some scores. So here, we're going to enter a singles match. You'll be required to select a player. If you don't have a player available for a specific match, typically this will happen in doubles, you can select no player. No player will automatically render the opposing team a winner if you have a player selected, unless you select did not play. If you select not played, then it assumes, okay, well, the opponent didn't have Jake Clore did not have an opponent to play against, but it was not played, and he does not earn the win in this scenario. But let's go through a normal case here. Let's say that there is a player available, and we'll just enter a standard score here, 6-1. We'll go 6-1. And match duration. This is a simple happy path here. Let's say the match took 2 hours. And if you do have a status enabled, just ensure that if you are looking to have a winner derived, that status has been disabled. So what I mean by a winner derived is systematically we will present this trophy, this red trophy, given that the winner has already been derived in this match. So we can save it, and we'll list the sets that were played and the set scores. So let's say we'll add another singles match here. And we'll say that this was a 6-6 tie at first, and we went into a tiebreak set, and Mike Mazzella won this tiebreak score 7-3. Notice how when you enter the tiebreak score, the set score automatically updates. That's something to keep an eye on there. And enter another set score here. Okay, so now we're at 4-0. So let's start entering some doubles matches. And I do want to go back over to the game day system for a second. So as you can see, the event as you are entering matches is being updated on in the game day administration system. So if you need to go back and look at a previous box score or the current box score, you can simply go and take a look at the list of matches that have already been played. So right now we support JSON, XML, XTG format. And I will also show another. You can pull a JSON report from the app as well. But let's go back and let's start entering doubles matches. So doubles will require you to select 2 players. And we'll say that this was a blowout also. Match duration is not a required field, but it's nice to have. If you have it, it'll be appended to the match node within the game file. So right now, Tennis Demo Home is essentially has no chance to win this event. But we still have a couple of doubles matches that are scheduled. So the system won't prevent you from adding the same player twice to a match. Something to keep in mind. If you guys utilize this and find the need for that validation to be in place, please let us know. But we assume that there may be formats where an individual player is playing in maybe both a singles and a doubles match. Okay, so we'll say in this case, the score was currently 4-4. But a winner has already been derived. Everybody's kind of been out at the courts all afternoon, and we kind of just want to put a halt to this match. So instead of having them play out the rest of the set, you can select a specific tiebreaker down for a match tiebreaker. And now what the match tiebreak will do is allow you to create a specific number of sets that they played that essentially would culminate this match, or play a point tiebreaker. Now in the doubles case, it's probably more common that you'll see a point tiebreaker. Okay. So notice how within the match view here, we show the played number of sets and the set score. Given that a tiebreaker occurs, what we call the match tiebreaker, we will show an additional set. That additional set will have a gray background, and that's what we call the match tiebreaker set. And whether you selected points or sets will be displayed here. So in this case, of course, we selected a point tiebreaker. There is another scenario where you're free to select a match tiebreaker or a set tiebreaker. I'm sorry. So let's go and enter another singles match here. We'll say it's 6-1, 6-1. It's probably not this example. Say it was early on in the match here. So currently they're at 1-1 for this first set, but a winner has already been derived, and the coaches decide that we're just going to close this out with an additional set or multiple. They're free to add a set here. And the validation that we input into the match tiebreak for sets is similar to your standard set input. And as you can see, a winner has finally been derived, and Frank Fouts will win that. So I think we're at a pretty good point to finalize this event. You may optionally add attendance. Duration is a required field. Say it was an 8-hour event. This is also the order of finish view. So typically, if you need to change an order of finish because the finish order was not the same as what's being rendered on the sheet here, you can just drag and drop. This information will be presented in the box score. The notes as well. Okay. The notes will be appended to the box score. And here is the finalized event view. Rendered the full box score. If needed, you have the ability to print it in PDF, and you can also export the JSON file. If you go back to the event, you'll notice now that the event should be set to finalized. The winner should have been determined. And all of the box score versions have been stored. Now, on this view here, if you notice, if the tiebreaker sets will all be denoted with a T. And we will also display whether that tiebreaker was a set or whether the tiebreaker was for points. If needed, you can always revert back to a previous game file, whether you're looking to download it or just to simply revert it. Something that's important to note here that kind of differs from our other stat platforms, or our legacy stat platforms, is the ability to edit an event. This event, since it has been finalized, it's best practice to set the event to in progress if you need to make event edits. And here we are. Okay, here's the finalized box score. One thing also is probably helpful to touch on, should this be important for your organization. If a match is not played, so say Cam Smith and Sam Hernandez were the last scheduled singles match, but a winner has already been derived, the event statuses will be appended and stored to the match. So we can say that this event was not played. This match was not played, excuse me. And that label will render here. Let's finalize the event one last time. And let's pull the most up-to-date box score.
We want to thank you for viewing this PrestoStats training session. For additional content, help articles, and guidance on PrestoStats solutions, please visit help.prestosports.com. For support questions, please head to prestosports.com/support.